Hey everybody, this is John Hiley with Dent Trainer. What we're going to be working on today is a 2010 Toyota Camry. What you can see here, there is a large dent up here in the quarter panel. You can definitely see that it has a lot of crowns, but what we can't see is what's underneath the bumper. Typically dents like this are caused from an impact below the bumper. So essentially it actually got backed into and pushed below the bumper, causing this dent to emerge above that line. But anyhow, we're going to go ahead and jump in here and we're going to pull the bumper off. I'm going to show you in detail how we repair dents like this. So let's go ahead and jump in here and get started. All right, everybody, the first thing that we're going to do here is pull off the bumper. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way, and now we can actually see kind of underneath the damage. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the taillight, get this plastic piece out of the way, and we'll be able to get a true picture of what this dent really looks like from underneath. You can see there's a little bit of paint damage there. It is cracked out a little bit, but there is a definite bow in the panel. Basically, the bottom line has completely bowed out, as you can see right here. If you held a yardstick to it, there would be a nice gap from beginning to end. And that is where our technique is going to come in as far as repairing a dent like this. So nice big bow in there. Definitely a decent sized dent on the bottom of a quarter panel. We have a battery in the way. We're going to go ahead and remove that. This way we can actually see the inside of the panel. Let's jump in here. There we are. We've got our understructure there. You can see the holes where the plastic piece came out of. Definitely got a big area in there to work. A lot to work around there. All right, so now again we'll check out the outside of the panel. We're going to do a lot of monitoring from the inside to the outside. Now, as you can see here, we actually have a sledgehammer with some Gorilla Tape wrapped up on one end. I'm going to actually start dollying that line right there on out. So I'm actually just kind of moving this thing along. It's the beginning of the repair. We want to see how much of it moves out. Now you can actually see some of my hits right there. That was a really good one there. And you can start to see the dent begin to move its way out a little bit. Definitely now we're actually hitting from underneath, dollying it upwards. Now I've got a softer knockdown here, and I'm actually going to go in here and start blending out the top of this big crown. We've definitely got our pressure going in the right direction down there at the bottom. Now we need to complement that by tapping out the top and begin blending out that nice big, almost like an arch of a crown. Definitely has that arch effect starting from the beginning down there at the bottom and then going to the other side. Going to start working that back side there because we can see a little bit of it from this angle, but we're definitely going to need a cross check. That's just essential when working any crown. You're definitely going to look at it from a few angles. And here we are, we're actually going to go in with a sharper tip knockdown and just kind of try to blend out our work that we've moved along with the softer tip knockdown. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into our cross-checking angle. So here I am just kind of tapping and blending out the little spots that we might have missed otherwise, and we're doing that in conjunction with tapping out the inside of the panel. A little bit of back and forth there to try to bring this thing up with balance. As you can see here, we're really getting some movement now with our hits. We're actually moving that quarter panel along. You're starting to see it shape up a little bit through the center of that line. Still looks a little bit choppy, but that's every dent. That's just how it is. I apologize here. I'm going to be in front of the camera. My shoulder was in the way, but I just want to show you that I'm still dollying the bottom of the line. So got a lot of Gorilla Tape on the end of that tool. And now you can see lots of movement there. Between tapping on the inside and dollying that bottom line, we're really starting to shape this thing up as far as getting to the point to where we can begin doing some pushing on this dent. You can definitely see a elongated crease line down there at the bottom. We're going to go ahead and remove this factory plug, and then basically just jump on in there. That's a decent size factory plug there. I think it's a little bit bigger than a 1/2 inch because this is a 36-inch soft tip double bend tool that we have here. And now just going to go ahead and put that into our hole here. And I'm going to step back and begin doing some pushing. Again, we're always trying to bring the dent up with stability. The least stable part is down here at the bottom of the dent. So I'll begin scrolling around and just kind of tightening up that bottom edge. Now I know some of these pushes are going to look a little bit aggressive, and no worries on that. We are still using a soft tip. A soft tip is going to be one of the easiest tools that we're going to be able to blend a dent like this out. Definitely going to be able to make them pushes. They're not aggressive. It's not like using a sharp tip. We're going to be able to move a lot of metal at one time, kind of gain some stability in this dent. Now, as you can see, I'm going towards the top now and just working that area. And going to run through that crown and just kind of try to basically connect the dots. Everywhere you see a little dot, you might want to overextend it a little bit. You know that you're going to go back into a blending session. And there's a lot of exchange of pushing and tapping when you deal with damage like this. You can see my position here. I've actually got 2 hands moving this thing. By no means was this an easy dent to move out. I'm actually looking down the panel and 2 hands applying pressure during the pushing procedure. And now, again, we're going to go in for a blending session. That's just very, very common that you're going to be pushing and blending and pushing and blending. You're kind of over molding the dent, creating stability, and then you're tapping it down to the surrounding panel. Now we're going to go into some blending with a blending hammer, and as you can see, I'm elevated at this point. I'm actually standing up and blending through and looking through all the little waves. Now I'm in a seated position where my head can be a little bit more eye level with the damage. And that's a real nice position to be in while blending.